presence of the jury, the defendant, and all counsel. Ladies and gentlemen, have any of you seen or heard anything about this case in the media? Has anyone attempted to speak with any of you about this case, other than the individuals associated with the trial, meaning the attorneys or court staff? I see no hands. All right, I want to address the trial schedule. You will be here today, obviously, tomorrow, 9:30. We expect that you will only be here a short while tomorrow. Because of witness scheduling issues, there will be no trial until next Wednesday, May 1st. On May 1st, I'm going to ask that you arrive so that we may start at 9 a.m. And we are going to stay here until we finish, and that may be well after 5 p.m. Final jury instructions will be read on Thursday, May 2nd, and the attorneys will give their closing arguments on Thursday and Friday. Then the case will be submitted to you for decision. Are there any questions about the schedule? All right, the state may call its next witness.
Judge, yesterday, 6:32, the DVD did not play. I substituted another DVD, and if I may play that for the jury.
You may do so.
The state calls Robert Brown.
Right up here, please.
Raise your right hand. You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Your name, sir?
Robert Brown.
And who do you work for?
I work for the City of Mesa.
What do you do for the city of Mesa?
I'm a detective in the Computer Forensics Unit.
You're a detective of where? I'm sorry, we didn't.
The Computer Forensics Unit.
And what do you do? What
I
are your
look,
duties?
I look at computers, telephone or cell phones, digital media.
And when you look at these things, do you go in and are you able to retrieve whatever data may be on there or images?
Yes,
With regard to this particular case, did you look at a heliophone?
I did.
And when you looked at that heliophone, were you able to develop some photographs?
Yes.
Let me show you some photographs. Please take a look at exhibits number 636, 637, and 638.
Okay.
Are you familiar with those?
Yes.
Are you the individual that was able to obtain them from the heliophone that you indicated previously?
Yes.
And there's some dates and times in the back. In terms of the date, what date were those photographs taken?
Tuesday, June 3rd, 2008.
All of them were taken on that particular date?
Yes.
And the respective times are on there, correct?
Yes, they are.
If I may have those back. Move for the admission of exhibit 636, 637, and 638.
You may. Exhibit 636, 637, and 638 are admitted.
Take a look at Exhibit 636, which I don't think the... First of all, with regard to Exhibit 636, we can see that the date was June 3rd, 2008 at 2:25 p.m., correct?
Correct.
And if we take a look at Exhibit number 237.008, what is the date on that? It's down there. See it?
June 3rd, 2008 at 15:22 hours.
And which is later? In other words, which came later, the Walmart receipt or the photograph?
The Walmart receipt, that would be 3:22.
If this is taken at 2:25 p.m., wouldn't the Walmart receipt come after?
Yes.
Okay. And this is the photograph, correct? Just want to show you Exhibit 452. See that?
Yes.
Exhibit 637 was taken what date and time?
June 3rd, 2008 at 2:12 p.m.
And that's the photograph, correct?
Correct.
Take a look at Exhibit 414. Exhibit 638. It's taken at what date?
June 3rd, 2008 at 2:28.
And this is that photograph, correct?
Correct.
With regard to your examination of the heliophone and these photographs, were these photographs taken by the heliophone or were they transmitted from a different apparatus over to the heliophone?
They were taken by the heliophone.
I don't have any other questions.
Cross-examination?
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, as it relates to these photographs showing you 637, one of the things you told us about all these photographs is that you know that they were taken with the heliophone, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And one of the things we didn't get to talk about a few moments ago is how you know that. Can you just kind of explain to us how you can be certain that that's the case?
Digital cameras, when they take a photograph, they embed information into the JPEG photo. And it's called EXIF data, EXIF.
Okay.
That data can be just a little bit of information. It could be a lot of information. It depends on the maker of that camera itself. And so it can store make, model, serial number, and I'm sure as a lot of people have heard, Apple phones store GPS data now. So you can even say where the photograph was taken. And so there's a lot of data that gets stored inside that photograph. And so even though you can change its name or do whatever, that information is still inside that photograph in the data itself. And so that's how when we look at the EXIF data in that data stream, it tells us that it was taken by the heliophone.
And you're certain because even though you can alter other things about it, there's no way you can alter the source, right?
Correct.
Okay. And now, when you had spoken to us earlier, just using 637 as an example, you said this was taken at 2:12 p.m., correct?
Can you show it?
Yeah, sure.
Correct.
Okay. Is that the time that the heliophone, your EXIF data generated, or did it generate a different source of time?
The data gets stored, the timestamp gets stored in what's called UTC time, which just is a long name for universal time. Another term for that is Greenwich Mean Time. And so depending on where that phone, what time that is on the phone, that data then, the timestamp on that photograph is written in UTC time.
Okay.
And so when you look at that data, you interpret that data for where that camera was when it was taken and where you were.
Okay. And as it relates to all these photographs, one of them being 637, what point of origin, I guess you would say, did you use for calculating the time that you translated onto photographs?
The camera, the phone knows where it is, and so it knows how to translate that data.
Okay. So you, in your end-case report, you did an end-case report on this phone, correct?
Correct.
You were able to determine the location it was when the photographs were taken?
No. The camera knows where it is, and so when you're in Arizona and you look at your phone, it tells you what time it is, and so that the camera knows. Even though when I take a picture, that the information may be stored in UTC time, it translates it on the fly.
Okay. So what you have here when you talk about the time is, in essence, the phone's translation of UTC time into the time that it is in whatever time zone the phone is located when the image is taken. Is that what you're
Correct.
telling us?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Redirect?
No, thank you.
Any questions from the jury for this witness? Any questions? Thank you. You may step down. The state may call its next witness.
State calls Detective Esteban Flores.
Detective, you were previously sworn in this case. You are still under oath. Do you understand?
I do. Thank you.
You may proceed.
Your name, sir?
Esteban Flores?
And you're the individual that testified previously, correct?
Yes, I am.
With regard to the investigation in this particular case, did you have occasion to go out to the Queensboro address to make some measurements involving the shelves?
Yes, I did.
When did you do that?
I returned to the address on March 5th of this year.
And were photographs taken?
Yes.
I'm going to show you some photographs. While they're being marked, sir, you were part of the original crew or group that went in there and conducted the search, correct?
Yes, I was.
And how long did the search take?
Approximately 3 days.
And during the search, was the house searched from, I guess, from bottom to top?
Yes, it was.
It has 2 floors on it, correct?
Yes.
Was the attic, did somebody go inside the attic to see what they could find?
Yes.
And in this particular search, were there ever, if you looked around, was there ever a holster that was found?
No, there was no holster found.
Was there ever a gun case that was found?
No, there was no gun case found.
Were there any indications that a gun had ever been there? For example, were there any spare bullets of any caliber found throughout the house?
Nothing.
Were there any cleaning kits, if you will, for a gun found anywhere in the house?
No.
Let me go ahead and show you the photographs. So take a look at exhibits 639 through 644 and see if you recognize what's shown in the photographs.
Okay.
Do you recognize what's in the photograph?
Yes, I do.
What do they depict?
They depict the closet area of Travis's old home.
And taking a look at exhibits number 69, you recognize what's here?
Yes, it's the same closet.
And this was at the time that the warrant was executed?
Yes, it was.
And exhibit number 70, what are we looking at there?
The exact same closet.
And what date were these taken?
March 5th.
The spacings on the shelf, are they the same in these photographs as they are in photographs number 69 and 70?
Yes, they are.
And how do you know that they're in the same position? Did you actually move some shelves around to put them in that position?
When I returned to the address to look at the closet again, the bottom 3 shelves were in a different position.
So you're talking about this, and this? Is that what you're talking?
Yes, those 3.
All right.
And what I did is I used the photographs from the original date that we were there, and I repositioned them in the same position.
How is it that one goes about repositioning these shelves? Do they have screws that are actually screwed in from the side, or how is it that that these shelves are put together?
Well, they're free-floating shelves on shelf pins. I'm sure everybody's seen those small little metallic shelf pins. And the shelves themselves are, like a very light material with just a paper coating on them.
The pins that are used to hold these shelves up, how many are there? Is there 1, 2, 3, 4, how many?
Each shelf has 4 pins.
I move for the admission of exhibits number 639 through 644.
You may. 639, 640, 641, and 642 are admitted.
Let's take a look at these, sir. Take a look at Exhibit 639. What are we looking at here?
Looking into the master bedroom closet from a north view, looking south into the closet.
And this shows the configuration of the shelves when you went out there after you had reconfigured them, correct?
Yes.
Exhibit number 640. What are we looking at here?
Looking at the back corner of the shelves,
And they are from top to bottom.
top to bottom.
And this is after you had reconfigured them to conform with what we see in Exhibit 70, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Exhibit 641, what are we looking at here?
I took a measurement at the top of the shelf, and it was approximately 7 feet high to the top of the shelf.
From the bottom to the top, is that correct?
Yes, from the floor up.
It looks like it's about 83 and a half, would that be correct?
Yeah, 84 would be 7 feet, so.
And did you also take a measurement up to the roof, which would be Exhibit 642?
Yes, the ceiling would have been 8 feet, so an additional foot on top of the shelves.
Sir, did you, in taking a look at these shelves to ascertain what kind of shelves they were, did you lift one of the shelves just to show the underneathing position of the shelf as it would rest on top of these pins that you've described for us?
Yes, I did.
And Exhibit 643, does that show that type of relationship between the pins and the shelf?
Yes, it does.
Move for the admission of Exhibit 643.
Overruled. 643 will be admitted.
And what are these things right here?
Those are the shelf pins themselves. They're a metal shelf pin.
And were there similar couple of pins on the other side?
Yes, 4 altogether for each shelf.
I want you to take a look at Exhibit 644. Did you have occasion to place your hand, for example, on one of the shelves to see what would happen if you put your hand on the shelf?
Yes, I did.
And taking a look at 644, does that show what happened when you put your hand on the shelf?
Yes.
Move for the admission of Exhibit 644.
Overruled. 644 is admitted.
And this is what happened.
Yes.
Sir, one of the things that Detective Melendez was asked about was the activity on the computer or the laptop belonging to Mr. Alexander on June 4th of 2008 in the early morning hours. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And there was something there about harder, faster, stronger. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Are you familiar with what that is?
Yes, I know what that is.
What is it?
It's actually a song from a European group, electronica group, and they've been around for a while, several years, and it's just a song and a video.
And have you had occasion to see the video or not?
Yes, I've seen the video.
And does the video depict any women or the female form in any way, shape, or form nude?
No, it does not.
I don't have any other questions.
Cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
I want to talk to you about, let's start where we finished. This video, this electronic or people dancing around, right? Is that?
Yes.
You've had a chance to view that?
Yes, there's several videos on YouTube
Okay.
and other locations.
Okay. And in terms of the ones that were on Mr. Alexander's computer that we went through yesterday a little bit with Detective Melendez, do you remember that?
Yes.
Are those the videos that you took a look at?
Yes, I've seen those.
Okay. And you were asked a minute ago, were those, if they involved nude women of any type? You recall being asked that?
Yes.
Okay. There's not any nude women in there, but could you tell us, from what you told us, but can you tell us what you did see in those videos?
It appeared to be a DJ playing the music with like boxes on their heads, something on their heads. And one of them was actually sped up really fast. People were just making fun of the videos themselves.
Okay. And that description of that video was a description that Miss Arias gave you during your interviews with her, right? People dancing with boxes in their head, something very similar to that?
I don't recall what she told me.
Okay. As it relates to this work you did in the closet, how tall is Miss Arias? Would you say?
5'5", 5'6".
5'5", 5'6". And just going back to the work you did, let's use the actual closet that day. This, scoot it down for you here, the ceiling's a little bit in the shadow there, but that's where we're at about the 8 feet mark, right? You said 83 and a half, 84 inches, right?
Yeah, 7 feet to the top of the shelf, 8 feet.
8 feet to the ceiling,
Yes.
7 feet to the top of the shelf.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Now, when you went back and measured this closet, and you said that what you attempted to do was put the shelves in the exact same spots as could be seen in Exhibit 69 and 70, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you did that, there are several shelves to put in place, right?
I moved 3.
Okay. You moved 3 altogether?
Yes.
Okay. Were the other shelves not movable, or were they already in position? Sometimes those shelving units have shelves that are in place. That's why I was asking.
No, they were all movable.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you only had to move 3.
Yes.
Okay. Now, as it relates to this shelf here, see this top shelf with the shoes on it?
Yes.
Did you measure that distance?
No.
As it relates to this shelf below here with shoes on it, see that shelf there?
Yes.
Did you measure that one?
No.
Okay. As it relates to this shelf here, the third row with the shoes, did you measure that one?
No, I did not.
As it relates to this fourth shelf down with the shoes, did you measure that one?
No, I did not.
Okay. As it relates to the next shelf below that, did you measure that?
No, I measured none of those shelves.
None of those shelves. None of the shelves in the first row here with the shoes?
No.
None of them. Okay. And as it relates to the middle shelf here, these would have been in place when you measured them, or when you put them back in place. Did you measure this middle shelf?
The only measurement I took was from the bottom of the shelving unit to the top of the shelving
Did you
unit.
measure this middle shelf?
I did not measure any of those shelves.
You did not measure any of the shelves down below. You could have, right?
I could have.
Okay. And as it relates to these shelves over here, I guess those are closest to the back wall here. Didn't measure any of those either?
No.
Okay. And you could have, right?
Yes,
Okay. And as it relates to this shelf here, we see here on the back wall. See that one there?
yes.
Did you measure that?
No, I did not.
Okay. And how about the one right above it here? It looks like there's a picture sitting there. Did you measure that one?
No, there's no need.
What's that?
There was no need to measure.
Okay, well, I didn't ask you if you felt there was a need. I asked you if you measured it, right?
And no, I did not.
Okay. So, and you have the ability to do that, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Now, showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 70 here. Here's a little closer up. You've heard Miss Arias. You heard that Dr. DeMarte say she has a fairly high IQ, didn't you?
Yes, I heard
Okay.
that.
Now, these shelves here, top one being 7 foot. We don't know the measurement of this, but it's lower than 7 feet, right?
Yes,
Likewise, even lower,
correct?
and even lower all down the line, right?
Yes,
Okay. And the same can be said, we don't have a measurement for this middle shelf, but it's lower than the top of the unit, right?
yes, that's obvious.
And they're lower all the way down, correct?
Correct.
Okay. As it relates to the shelving unit here, we have another shelf that's in the, what I guess I would call the inside shelving unit, and that's lower than the top of the unit, right? That first shelf?
Yes, it is.
And all the way down, all those shelves are lower, right?
Yes,
Okay. She didn't say the gun was in any of these shelves, did she?
no,
No. This back unit we see here, the top of this back unit, you didn't measure the top of that, but would you agree with me based on the photograph, it appears to be the same height as the other shelving unit?
it is the same height.
Okay, all right. And as it relates to the shelves below, that's lower than the top of the shelving unit, right?
Yes,
2 shelves lower than the top of the shelving unit, right?
correct.
Okay. And she didn't say the gun was on either of those shelves, right?
Correct.
Okay. And we can see it perhaps better in this exhibit. There's some bags around here. There's some room on the ground. She didn't say the gun was anywhere there, correct?
No,
Okay. And we can't see it here quite so well, but looks like we've got some rods with shirts on it. Is
Yes.
that what we had? Okay. And there was no, is there shelves over there or just rods?
no shelves on that side. In the area you can't see, there's some more shelves.
Okay. In the area we can't see, can you maybe with your hands describe where that would be?
I'm not sure exactly. I'd have to see a photo to see exactly where they're at, but near where the shirts are.
Okay. And were they as high as the other shelves?
I don't remember.
Okay. And did they, I'm assuming that it just wasn't one shelf really high, there were other shelves down below, right? That were at lower height?
Like I said, I don't remember
Okay,
what they
don't
look like.
remember, okay. And Miss Arias didn't say the gun was on any of those, did she?
No, she did not.
In your work in this case, you interviewed Kristen Sky Hughes, correct?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall that in one of those interviews, you made the comment that Travis was addicted to Jodi?
And proper beyond scope.
Approach.
during this interview with Chris and Sky Hughes, do you remember telling them that Travis was the...
Approach, please. Sustained.
You remember, Detective, giving an interview to 48 Hours. We talked about that a while back.
Yes,
Okay. And do you remember telling the correspondent for 48 Hours that something provoked Miss Arias at the end?
Rule 701, 702, 703, and beyond the scope.
Approach, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a recess. Please go back to the jury room. We will be with you shortly. Yes. Please be seated. The record will show the presence of the jury, the defendant, and all counsel. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective, just one more question. You didn't, in your investigation, we'll call it on March of this year, did you investigate how the shelving unit would react to weight hitting one of the railings? I guess we'd call it dividers between the shelves.
Can you ask that again? I didn't hear the whole question.
Sure. Depending on what we want to, what term these here, the part that goes down, I was calling them railings, whatever you might call them, dividers, right? You see what I'm talking about?
I see what you're talking about.
Okay. You didn't do any assessment on how weight would react to touching that area, right?
No, I did not.
Okay. Thank you, Detective.
Sir, the area that's there in the corner, why did you concentrate in that area and not, for example, the part that's closest to the person taking the photograph?
That's the area where the defendant said she retrieved the gun, so I concentrated my measurements in that area.
I don't have any other questions.
It looks like there's some other questions in the jury basket, and I have some juror questions here. Counsel, please approach. All right, Detective Flores, the jurors have some questions for you. To your knowledge, does anyone other than Jodi, was there any record of a gun registration under Travis's name?
No, there was not.
Would there have been any significance to measure all of the shelves since Jodi stated she only used the bottom to get to the very top shelf?
No, and that's why I focused my measurements just on that back row.
Were any of the shoes out of place when detectives arrived on the scene?
Nothing appeared out of place.
To your knowledge, did either of Travis's current roommates at the time own a gun?
No, they did not.
What would you say is the approximate width of the end shelf unit where Miss Arias claims the gun was located?
The shelves themselves are approximately 36 to 38 inches long. They're about 16 inches in depth, and the shelf itself is about 3/4 of an inch thick.
Jodi testified that she helped Travis put some things in the attic. Did you find anything at all stored in the attic?
No, we found nothing.
Is the floor of the attic capable of supporting boxes?
There are beams in the attic, and you can put stuff on the beams, but the rest of it is drywall. So if it was a light object, I suppose you could put something there.
Could you tell if anything had ever been stored in the attic?
No, I can't.
Where is the opening to the attic located?
There's one in the closet area, in that area.
Do you know the weight, height, and shoe size of Miss Arias at the time of her booking?
I don't recall exactly. I don't know her shoe size. But I believe she was about 5'5", 5'6", 115 to 125 pounds.
It appears from the March 5, 2013 photo that the metal pins holding the closet shelves are round for the entire length of the pin. Is that correct?
Yes, they're round.
Were there any signs of evidence found at Travis's house that he owned a gun?
None whatsoever.
When Travis's master closet was originally examined, were there any empty boxes or containers found on the top shelf that could have contained a gun?
No.
If Jodi were to stand with her arms pointing straight up into the air, do you know approximately what the distance would be from the ground to the tips of her fingers?
No, I do not.
Any other questions from the jury? Follow up, Mr. Martinez.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Nurmi.
I want to ask you, you were asked a couple questions about registration of weapons, that sort of thing, right? In Arizona, is registration required?
No, it is not.
Okay. So somebody could own a gun, not have it registered, and it'd be completely legal, right?
Yes.
Okay. You were asked some questions about the shelving unit. And I know that you said that you were able to move all the shelves. None of them were secure, right?
They're all free floating, so
Okay.
they're not secured.
And so when you picked up a shelf, or when you took it out of the area, you were able to replace it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if a shelf got dislodged, it could be just placed right back into the same spot, correct?
Yes, it can.
Okay. And you checked, you said the entrance to the attic, and you mentioned the closet, right? You
Yes,
said a closet.
I believe so.
I just want to make sure, are we referencing this closet or some other closet?
No, I believe it's in this closet. There's a couple of different openings. I believe one is in another bedroom as well, or out in the hallway. I'd have to look at the entire photos of the,
You talked about the attic. Your report doesn't mention you checking the attic, so was it someone else who checked the attic?
yeah, it was under my supervision.
Under your supervision, okay. So when you asked the question about your observations of the attic, whether you could tell something had been stored there or not, you said you couldn't tell, right?
Correct.
Okay. Is that based on observations you made or observations someone else made?
Observations somebody else made, and that I was told. It's a basic construction, similar to any other house in that area.
So again, you're testifying to your perceptions of what someone else told you as opposed to what you saw yourself, just like you did with Dr. Horn, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to go back to the jury room again. Please remember the admonition. We will be with you shortly.
Please stand for the jury.
The record will show the jury has left the courtroom. We are at recess. Counsel and chambers, please.